It says it worked on my end.
Okay, setting up now. This time it worked. I don't know what happened last time.
We
Done.
have 5 views, and then 3 views, then 6 views, then 5 views on our episodes. Oh,
Excellent.
one of them has 10. It worked on my end.
Okay. Yep, it's working now. Okay, close that out. All right. Are you ready?
Yep.
Here we
I am.
go. Um, hey, y'all. This is Rachel, and that is Eddie. And this is my so-called mess. Welcome to it. Eddie, I feel like I was very much the radio host there. Eddie, how are you?
I'm good. Good to hear you. I guess I could look at you. Good to see you.
To hear you and see you. It's like a whole new world.
Yeah.
A
How's it
brand,
going?
a whole new world. That was terrible. It's okay. Yesterday I had 9 clients.
Oh wow, that's a lot.
I had 6 back to back. So yeah, so I'm good now. My Thursdays just I only have now 3 clients. Normally I only have 4 because one was canceled. Anyway, and supervision. So it feels almost like a day off, which I know 5 clients is still a lot or 4, but that's like a day off now after yesterday.
Yeah, sounds like you talked to a lot of people.
I did. I did.
And we had a meeting with one of our, I don't know, I guess he's like a bank person. I'm not really sure. But we had a Zoom call with this guy, and he had this thing. It was like it looked like a cock ring. Let's get into it. Um, and then it had like an inner part that kind of would flip up so that you could hold it. It would like suspend like a hanger from his finger. And he was fucking around with it the whole time. And later I was like, oh, you know what? I bet he has like tendency to touch his hair or like whatever you were saying that you had. And
Oh,
instead he just holds this fidget because I think he does like Zoom conferences all day. And it was in an effort not to be like, what do I do with my hands?
yeah, not to be because that's how I pay attention. Yeah, because I play with my hair so fucking
Or
much.
like just finger up the nose.
So instead he had his cock ring.
Yeah, he was just flashing his cock ring on the screen, like a financial bro would.
Interesting.
No shade though. I mean, I should have asked him what it was because I was kind of interested in telling you about
Would it be weird if I brought like a vibrator to like play around with him?
it. Like a really small one, like
Yeah,
just
like my
a
little
clit,
bullet. Just bring it
yeah, like
for
a clit stimulator, and just like
spin it around my fingers.
drop it a couple times and be like, oh.
Turn it on for a second. Oops.
I imagine there's all sorts of those things though. I've seen the ones where like you put it on your finger and then you spin it and it has like wings or whatever.
I can't. So fidget spinners bother me more than they
Hmm.
help me. So I do things like play with these beads, but then it makes this like noise,
Oh
and
yeah.
and I feel like that's
I can't really
distracting.
hear it. I'm gonna do like a pencil, like
That's what
this
I could do
thing. I
with
put
my
the
little bullet if I could figure out if I was talented.
like this thing. It's a rubber pencil. Does this work on the internet?
I play with my bow
Um,
tie in my fingers.
yeah, I guess I just kind of shift position around a lot. I'm like, oh, that's not a good angle. Like, mm. But I can't really see the phone too well. I feel like I need different glasses maybe.
How many pairs of glasses do you have?
On this desk, I have four pair of glasses. Yeah, these are a little bit better for up close though.
Okay. Did you hear the news this week? It's very sad.
Ah, Michelle Trachtenberg.
Yes.
I know. I found that out last night, and I was bummed because my friends. I call my kids my friends sometimes, like like any good parent would. We've been watching The Adventures of Pete and Pete on YouTube. Are you familiar
Okay.
with that show?
No, I don't know about this show.
It's like this 90s Nickelodeon cartoon that I was pretty obsessed with at the time. And I think I might have told you about it on this podcast. There's like one episode where Michael Stipe's in it.
Oh, okay.
Did I tell you that story?
I don't think so. I don't remember it.
Oh,
So I'm sorry if you did it.
no,
This is repeat. Read.
it's all right. I'll tell you about it some other time. But she was on there as Pete's, like, okay, there's two brothers named Pete. So Pete's younger brother had a friend in town, and it was played by Michelle Trachtenberg. I believe it's one of her first credits ever, like before Harriet the Spy. Like,
Oh,
I
wow.
think Harriet the Spy was the next thing. Like, she kind of got popular from this because she was Iggy Pop's daughter. Like, Iggy Pop played a character on the show.
Oh, I thought you meant in real life. I'm like, she was? Oh,
No, no, on Pete and Pete. Yeah, why did I say it like that? Anyway, I thought that was a like my kids are into it. Like they like when we watch it. They're like, "Can we watch more Pete and Pete?" And I was thinking next we would watch Harriet the Spy just to see how it feels.
mm,
But bummer.
I know. You were the first person I thought of when I read the news.
I was the first person I thought of when I read the news too.
I
Oh,
mean,
poor me. Because she is the main character on Buffy the Vampire Slayer seasons 5 through the end of the show, which was 7.
okay.
Yeah,
She was
I
also
think
on
five,
Gossip
six, or seven.
Girl.
Oh, Gossip Girl's where she like that's where she really came into
Did you
her
watch
own.
Gossip Girl?
I watched a little bit of it, yeah.
Okay.
That might be next for me after I finish L Word. I'm zooming through L Word. There's only like 10
Mhm.
episode seasons.
I just watched something really good now. I can't remember. It must have been really good.
So
Like,
good that you can't
I
remember?
know. It was like it wasn't that it was so good. It's interesting. And second season is in full effect, like coming out weekly.
Hmm.
It's called Surface on Apple.
Okay, okay.
And it's about this English woman who had a traumatic brain injury from possibly jumping off a boat. It's based in San Francisco, maybe somewhere. I
Okay.
think San Francisco.
Yeah.
And
You can jump off a boat there.
she's married to a finance guy, and all her friends are very wealthy, but there's some like, but then she has this therapist. Oh, that could have been indirect hours. She saw a therapist. And then she wants to do some individual treatments because she has no long-term memory. And then the whole thing is like, did she really jump? Did someone push her?
Oh
There was
no.
also an affair. There's all kinds of stuff. So you start to find out what happens in season one, and then season two is somewhere else. So
Hmm.
season two, the cast is amazing. And again, like brain like freeze. I can't remember who's on it, but really, really good cast. The writing, but I'm sucked in now because I already watched all of season one. So now I have to finish season two.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I like that Apple TV. I hear it's got lots of good stuff. I hear
Yeah.
Max has good stuff too. These
Apple,
are the two that I don't have. And
okay.
maybe it is the a bit of like grass is greener, you know. I've
You're
got
right.
some good stuff myself, but everybody else is talking about Apple and HBO.
Yeah. Max is the one I don't have. I'm like, I'm not paying for something else. Apple I get for free. Apple and Netflix I get for free.
How do you get
Um,
it for free?
from my phone carrier.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking about looking into that with my phone carrier. Give me some free TV phone.
I know. So yeah, I get free Netflix, but it's the one with the commercials, whatever. And I get Apple. I thought it was supposed to be for a few months, but I've never had to pay for it. So I think they
Oh,
moved it to all
cool.
the time free. But if you get Apple, you have to watch Shrinking, or I can give you my password. I don't care. I don't know if you want.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at right now, but I'm kind of just making like a mental like maybe next year I'll switch off of these things that I'm subscribed to and switch to these
Oh, and
other
make a
things.
switch.
Like
Yeah.
we're
There are a
talking
few.
about giving up Netflix. That's the one
Mhm.
that's gonna go.
I keep thinking about that too. Well, one, I get it for free, but there's so many things I realize I still watch on Netflix, and it's my sleep TV because I watch the Gilmores on repeat to try and fall asleep. Um, but I do this on Max. They have the Secret Lives? No, Sex Lives of College Girls or Sex Lives of College Students, which I loved season one, and I haven't been able to keep up with it because I have a couple apps that I can find them on for free, through my little,
Yeah.
it's like I have I guess,
Yeah, you've had a long history with like what is it? It's not piracy, it's just like publicly available television.
it's kind of piracy, whatever. I have a box that was jailbroken, I guess. I don't know if that's what you call it. And I have all these apps I can get. And I also pay for an internet provider TV, like a few bucks a month, and that gets like everything. But sometimes
Yeah,
they
yeah.
down. But I don't use it as much because it's hard to find the actual show. I watch it. I keep that for like sports. Um,
Right, right,
but
right.
my apps that I have right now aren't working, which means you have to find new ones. And it's sometimes hard. You have to find this other app to find the apps to use. And I don't know
Right.
how to find that app. I don't know how to find the original thing to download stuff. That's always been my
Hmm.
problem. So that was always from an ex, not the ex. This is from a guy I dated.
Oh, wow. Oh, we're
Um,
already into it. We should have an outline that we follow where it's like you talk about your ex once an episode or
yeah,
an ex.
this one, this was the one that ghosted me after I helped him move furniture. And I think I ruined his couch, but whatever. I dropped his leather couch on the pavement that we just bought. He just bought his like handmade couch when it was raining because I'm small and I don't have a big wingspan. But he asked for help and I whatever.
And he looked at you and thought, couch mover.
I know. Well, he's like, "Do you want to do the couch or the table?" And the table just seemed like so much more steps to like where we had to go. And also in this process of this whole couch move, I told this story before, I believe, when we finally went back to his house, like when we got the couch settled, and he was like irritated, I could tell. And he was like, um, we were going to drop the U-Haul off and pick up my car.
Hmm.
And I went to grab my bag, and he's like, "Why are you taking your bag? We're coming back here. Just leave it here." So I'm like, "Okay." So we jump in the U-Haul to go back like 30 minutes away somewhere in Atlanta during like rush hour to go get my car. I realized that my
Hmm.
keys were in my bag. And that's where I think he got the most mad. But like he told me to leave my bag behind. I didn't really anyway. But long story short.
Yeah,
But
that's on him, I
that's on
think.
him for sure. But he was the one who helped me set these all up to begin with. Like he came over and did it the first time. And then I bought a new one. He's helped me over the phone and over text, even like over the years we reconnected, sort of.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
yeah. But I don't want to message him and ask him again because we actually tried to like hang out before I moved, which I know that's still a few years ago now. But in the process, I realized he got married, which
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to have any connection with him anyway. In that way, I just want him to help me
Yeah.
with TV because that's life. My TV is life. But he keeps like he hasn't told me he's married, so it's like this game I play sometimes to see if he'll tell me. But there's been no post of the marriage recently for like a long time. They used to do a travel Instagram, and that hasn't been updated in like almost a year. That was a
Yeah.
long-winded story to say. I don't want to message this guy, and he ghosted me.
No, no, I get that. No, I understand that from another perspective. I think my wife has some Facebook exes that will sometimes message her, "Are you still married or whatever?" Like or whatever. And there are people that are just waiting out marriages, I guess, sitting
Yeah,
around.
and that's not what I was doing. This has just become like because he asked me to go off-roading with him, right? Right before I moved. And I didn't. Like I was like, kind of can't, busy just because I wanted help with my TV. So I didn't want to be like, no, It's like bad day, bad day. Because I knew I needed help coming up with my TV. I don't know that's so selfish of me to like do that, but it's TV. I will stoop a little low for that. But he I messaged him on like his birthday to say like, "Hey, happy birthday. What are you doing?" To be nice. And he's like, "No, nothing. Just hanging out with a couple friends." That was his rehearsal dinner.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
ever
like a
since,
movie, right?
yeah, and ever
Yeah.
since then, whenever he like reaches out, like, because we'll talk about football, just like, did you watch the game? How we like, did what about this about the game and about Georgia? So we talk like during football season, and I'll ask something, and I'll be like, yeah, just no, just went out with my brother. I'm like, dude, you're fucking full married. But I still haven't said anything because I don't know why, because I think it's fun. And now I think it's funny.
Yeah, I wonder what you feel about like platonic relationships between, I mean, this is different because you're an ex, but do you have any just friends who are boys?
Yes, I have a lot of friends who are
Oh,
boys.
me. Yeah. I guess I guess I'm in that category.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I feel like plutonic relationships, and I've talked about this on other podcasts, are they're kind of hard to know what's happening at first, and then you don't realize it until later that it's like, oh, this is like a friendship of mutual interests and things, and
Hmm.
um, there are lots of op- I don't know. I guess there's like opportunities that you can put yourself into these positions where you go off-roading with somebody or something, and maybe there will be that moment where it's like, should we kiss?
Yeah.
And it's, you have to rely on the idea that no, we're not going to kiss. Like it's just there might be those moments. There's those moments. I think personally, I think that there are those moments with everybody all the time. There's
Right.
always a moment, like even when you're not even remotely attracted to somebody, where you're in an office and there's this awkward tension, and it's like, whoa, should we be kissing right now? Like, like you're at the DMV and somebody asks you a question or says something in a flirty way, and you're like, are we,
Are we
you know,
dating
yeah, is this happening?
now?
Um, And I like that. I like that about life, that everybody's kind of attracted to each other. It's kind of
I do
nice.
like that. But I also at the same time like that, like, because I know some of my friends who are in marriages or committed relationships, they've been this thing like, no, I'm not allowed to have friends of the same sex. I'm like, I don't, because yes, there is an attraction, but like one of my good guy friends I've known since I was 9 months old.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's been like once I've looked at him once, maybe be like, nah, maybe. But no, we're just like we're friends. Like I don't, and yes, there could be an attraction to anybody at any point, but I also just because someone is a guy doesn't mean I'm gonna fuck them. And and with that same note, like shouldn't it be like you
Yeah, I
can't
guess that's what I was asking. If somebody's a guy, will you just fuck them?
I mean
Like that's a
no.
weird.
No, and if someone's
Just
a guy just
because
because they're a guy, no, absolutely not. Because
I hope they have to be special.
they have to be special. They have to have a little bit of an edge to them.
Right.
And it
Yeah,
has
no,
to
I texted a friend of mine who I've known since I've been alive, basically. And we go way back, and she's like met my kids and stuff, but we're going to Orlando because we're going to Disney World next month.
fun.
And she lives in Orlando and she got a new house. And I was like, I haven't talked to her in a couple years, but I'm like, hey, if you have any free time, let's like get a meal or get coffee, or I want to come and see your house. Like, these are all the things that are available
Hmm.
uh, to her, and it's exciting. And
Hmm.
it's not exciting in this way that we're going to kiss or anything, but I do want to reconnect. I want to like
Yeah.
strengthen that relationship and
Well,
be a find out what's been going on.
yeah, and I do think like sometimes because connection, I think sometimes when we think about connection, we think it has to be like intimate or like because friendships can be intimate in a different way, right? Like you're very close with some of your friends and you're very like feel very safe, and there's an intimacy about that.
Yeah.
But I think oftentimes we there's like this idea of like there's a connection, it has to be physical or sexual. And that's not necessarily the case because I'm very connected to some people that are like, there's no way I would ever want to. First, I would laugh. Like if they tried to like get naked with me, I'd be like I unfortunately would probably laugh in their face, like, what the fuck are you doing? Um, but because I think the same way where people say like, oh, guys and girls can't be friends, like I could, not that I've like actively looking to have sex with women, but if like I can have a friend that I'm totally attracted to sexually and be like, let's just see what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I think a
I mean,
lot of my friends
I do think
do.
that's a like a long-standing debate. Like, can guys and girls just be friends? I feel like this is something they'd have on the Howard Stern show or
Yep.
something like that.
I also think because my brain works a lot like a male in some ways, like I have more, at least that's my perspective of myself. When I think of like myself in commitment and this kind of stuff, like I think of a more male brain.
Mm,
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm lying to myself, and that's or I'm that's false. But that's my view of it. So I think I get along really
I,
well with males, but also especially males that want to talk about like sports and shit. Like, dude, we can talk about sports all day.
yeah, yeah, and maybe that's hot. Maybe I don't know. I feel like people who are attracted to one another know it right away, right?
Yeah.
Or like if it's an unbalanced attraction thing, like I'm attracted to somebody who's not attracted back to me. I know that right away too. It's like, oh, I am like hot for you and you have nothing for me, and you got to respect that boundary.
Hmm.
And then there's the other one where like somebody is like thirsty for you and you're just like, okay, whatever. And that one I feel like has the greatest amount of responsibility. Like that one comes with a lot of like
Yeah, you gotta maneuver things a little differently.
you really need to be careful with that one. That
Yep.
one's the hardest one to deal with.
Yes. I also think you could be physically attracted to someone. Like I could look at someone and be like, damn, right? Like right away, that instant and be like, I'd do that. But in reality, would I ever? No. I could be attracted to them for that moment and then be like, but that's a fleeting moment. I get, yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like the people that I'm attracted to, and I'm married, so I also, unlike your ex, I I let people know that I'm married,
Hmm.
you know,
Hmm.
give them fair warning.
Hmm.
I talk about my kids a fair bit too, so I think people can already just not be attracted to me straight away. But the people that I am attracted to that I know are attracted to me, like I've got to keep those things like, oh, we bumped into each other at this place and or it's like a group setting where it's like everybody's there and it's like I'll feel free to talk to them, but um, everybody knows what's going on.
And I also think that's like a normal part of life. Like you said, like to
People
have,
look at us and raise those eyebrows.
do they?
Mm, no, I'm just kidding. Like what in those you have to like manage those things and
Yeah.
when I mean I do. I don't think you would, but I do. I just have a marriage.
Yeah. And I'm attracted, like, mm, I think I've been like attracted to people that I'm like, again, like I keep that at a distance because there's no way I want to. And again, like, also I think it's because I don't like people, like, I only like, I can be attracted to you and also realize very quickly that I don't want you in my space. Like I can
Mm.
physically be attracted to you because I think there's a very big difference of just like looking at you and being like, fuck, look at that. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then having a conversation with them, being like, ooh, that would like, they say there's nothing in common or they're not very smart or they talk about racist shit. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. But then when there's like, because you can have a brain connection like that, like other kind of connection where it's not all physical, like it's that like, and that to me is harder to like kind of like keep at bay because there's,
Yeah, like infatuation with somebody or like a
Mhm.
mutual like kind
Yeah.
of like being in love in the
Yeah.
books.
I also think back in the day, I used to sleep with a lot. I mean, definitely, I definitely like slept with a lot more people. Didn't necessarily like want, not that I didn't want to, like I was forced to, but like I could give a shit either way.
Yeah, no, I think that having the opinions that we're expressing does require a lot of like understanding. Like you have to have explored, you have to have
Mm-hmm.
um, failed,
Yeah, a lot.
attempted and failed, but
Yep.
also like let people down easy, let people down roughly, like broken up,
Mhm.
gone gone through it to know what you're
Yeah.
um, actually managing.
Yeah. And again, like for me, like pursuing everything I'm attracted to, or like even have a weird attraction to, I don't want a lot of people in my space and I don't like being in other people's space. Like unless there is that like I need both. Like I need to have like some kind of like brainy kind of thing, like, like of just that vibe, like, cause just that vibe, instantly you're like, you're attracted to something about them that maybe others
Mhm.
don't see, or it's not like you can't explain it. And then physical. And then also there has to be humor. Like I have to be able to be sarcastic and kind of an ass at times.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's just part of the personality. I think like what you might be describing is some sort of like um, you have a private life, and to mingle your private life with someone else's private life requires
Hmm.
a lot of like um uh, grown-upness. What's that word?
Hmm.
Grown-upness,
Yeah.
maturity.
Yeah.
Like you have to accept certain people's things that they
Yep.
do, and then also they have to accept your things that you
Yep.
do. And that's like a different level of fucking. No, it's a
Yeah. No,
different
but
level
it
of
is.
like
It is. I think because
getting down.
we're all
Getting down, I'll
weird, and
call
we
it.
all have our quirks, and we all have our things. It's like finding someone who's weird gets your weird.
Right, yeah. Got
And
to
also,
mash up those weirds.
yep. I also think that for someone in a relationship to say they've never been attracted to someone else while they're in the relationship is bullshit.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't think that that's. Do people do that? I bet people do that, right?
Mhm. I only have eyes for you. Shut up. My eyes are looking at
Yeah,
everything. Have I ever
yeah,
acted
but
on it? No, but like,
I only have eyes for you. That's kind of sweet, though. That's a song.
oh my God, those kind of things make me like want to. If someone said that, if someone says shit like that to me, I'm like, "Bleh," right away. And then I'm like, nope, done. Bye.
Isn't that a tongue-in-cheek expression, though? Like nobody really believes that?
I
Or
think
is that something that is said to be believed?
I think it's something that people believe. I think someone said too, like, oh, I wish I could remember the words they used. It's like you're the reason I breathe, or like you're the reason I can't remember. It's basically make saying the other person is the only reason this person's living. I'm like, no, that's not a nice thing to say. You're being around isn't supposed to make someone live like that's putting too much on the other person.
Yeah. No, I feel like expressions of sentimentality are limited in that you cannot be completely honest with them. They cannot have like complete honesty attached to them. I wrote a birthday card for my youngest daughter,
Hmm.
and it says, "You are so fun," or something like, "You are so fun. Um, your laugh lightens my life or brightens my life," or something like that. But I'm not going to point out to her all of the other people who I would say that
Right.
to. It's not
Right. But
like
yes,
if I said only, that would
right. That's
be
different. And
weird.
this is what this person said, like, you're the only one that makes me something. I don't even know what.
Yeah. You
Also, I
gotta watch
realized,
what you say.
yes, I also realized my sentiment, like, just in general, like, if you were in my life, um, in any kind of relationship or sexual manner,
Hmm.
my communication and my sentiments are always going to be something dirty. Even if I try and say something sweet, it has a dirty twist to it because I can't say those like mushy like
Right.
kind of things.
Yeah. Um, the icky intimate stuff.
No, I even look up like I've looked up like best dirty goodnight text for him or something. Like I will go with
For
some,
him.
and they're
That's
pretty
funny.
good. Like you get some good ones. Like I can't think of new shit all the time. I've been talking to someone for, when you're talking to someone for a while, like you gotta kind of change up how you say like good night because that's boring as fuck. So
Right.
new
Yeah.
ways to spice up, like, you
I feel
know,
like over text you have a lot more liberty. In person, it's like, I'm gonna fuck you to sleep. And then it's like you're staring eyes to eye. And it's like, no, not right now, but like, maybe
but like
tomorrow or
and
something.
I know, and I wonder,
And
I'm
like
trying to
then
figure
you'd be
out.
like, no, that's impossible.
I'm also thinking, I'm like, am I as dirty in person, like with those comments, as I am via text? I don't know. Now I'm like, nah, maybe not.
Yeah. I I think that you can have a text. You could I bet that you're very text sexy. That's very
Mhm.
hard to say. It sounds like tech savvy,
I'm very
but
text
it's
sexy.
text.
I can fucking turn anybody on in via text.
And I think that that may or may not translate to some on the street skills, you know? Like if you were working construction and somebody was walking by and you hollered down at them, I don't think you would have the same luck with your like
No, 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 no.
yeah,
Now
like
if I'm
wink face, uh eggplant, hearts for eyes.
ejaculation, cat with hard eyes, because
Water gun.
but
Water
because
gun, water gun, water gun.
if I'm trying to be real dirty, instead of just using the hard eyes, I had the cat with hard eyes to, you know.
Or like tongue out, thirsty.
Mhm. But no, but
Yeah.
I also think I'm good I'm good like sexting. But you know what? For me, sexting took like I really studied it, and I'll still
Yeah.
research stuff. Like I took time to
You've
really,
talked about that. You
yes,
talked about teaching a course on it.
yes, I still want to. But also, I'm good like phone sex. I could say a lot of the dirty shit. Like I can go there. In person, it doesn't always feel like. Also in person, I don't always feel like the shit needs to be said because you're
Because
having phone
actions
sex,
speak
right?
louder than words.
Yes. Phone sex, you have to be so descriptive, be like, I want you to, um, whatever it is. And like, depending on how you say it to the other person, like every couple has a different way. Some, like, some men, like when you refer to their genitalia as instead of saying your cock or your big hard cock, they like to say, like me to call it like mine, right? So you have to
Mm-hmm.
like learn each person's preferences and like figure that out and what you feel comfortable going along with and words you feel comfortable with. Like if you don't feel comfortable from jump ever saying daddy, don't start using daddy in your text. Don't do it. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
on the phone, the extra description is important because you're trying to turn each other on, right? While on the phone, while one hand might be in your pants, while like trying to use your brain and trying to focus on what's going on in the conversation. But in person, yeah, you just kind of like your actions are being shown. I don't have to say like, put your hand on like, can you,
Unless you're having sex with a blind person.
Oh yeah, yeah. True, true. I haven't done that.
You have to narrate it a little bit, I'd
Yeah.
imagine.
There,
Um, I was thinking also about, I mean, so um, I believe we touched on insecurities of like, like you're the only person for me, and people
Mhm.
needing to hear that. I was also thinking about like dick measuring in this way, where it's like you have the largest and most satisfying penis in the world. And like some people need to hear that shit. And it's
And you know what goes,
odd.
I think
Or
like,
maybe it's not odd.
no, I think there is that. Hold on. And I want to say, yes. And so let's say you're trying to say that, but you're with somebody who is not very large. Like you can't say like you're big or you're like, but you can add, there are other words you can use, like how good you feel in me.
Hmm,
Like I
hmm.
want, and if they're smaller too, like I want to take you all the way down my throat because that might be a little easier. Yeah, I want all of you down my throat. But you can reference it differently. But I have found this is just in my own studies. that instead of like the largest, big is good because big is like, what is big? Who knows? And thick. Thick seems to be one
Thick.
that I don't know how you feel about the word thick, but there seems to be and maybe it's just the people I'm with. I don't know if they're thick, but but I also try to use other words like descriptive of how it makes me how it makes me feel too. Like imagine,
Mhm.
especially like in a
A
sex when you first like are in me and like, whatever.
yeah, yeah, like describe it in different terms.
Because also I don't want to be with someone with the biggest cock in the world, biggest dick, whatever you can call it. I tend to use the word cock. I don't know why that's my go-to word.
That's a good one,
Yeah,
I think.
but I don't want the
I
biggest.
was being like completely unsexy about it. Like
Yeah.
the world's most gigantic penis does not
Can you
sound very appealing.
can
It
you
sounds
please
like a carnival thing.
can you
Like,
please put your your
come,
long
step right
your
up.
erect penis in my
Hmm.
lubricated. I'm trying to be so boring.
And I feel like there's no real I mean, maybe like girl, you got that body, but I with all the partners I've been with, I don't really I'm talking exclusively women. I don't think that there is like you're not gonna like check out the labia and be like, those are some big labia, girl. Like that's
No,
not
but
gonna
there
do it
is
for her.
like no, but here's where you can say things about the person's genitalia. I will use uncouth words and make it dirty. Your tight, wet pussy.
Okay, so tightness, right? Tightness and bigness.
Tight,
Do you
wet,
think those
pretty pink, pretty little pink, tight pussy. Wet,
is
tight
pink
pussy.
accurate if you're I mean maybe if you're fucking like white people, but yeah, I guess pink is accurate. There's like inner labia on everyone that's pink, right?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I haven't
And
seen
pink,
anybody's labia in the world, so I can't like.
but pink that yeah, pinkness being a like that's a good quality.
I mean, it gets used a lot. Is it a good quality? I don't know. I'm not like bruised.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
Yeah, I
like
don't know. That's one like um and like talking about being able to stretch I
I guess
find
wetness is like the same as throbbingness, but
yeah,
throbbing is a you can use that either way.
yeah.
Like,
And
you're
also
throbbing right now.
this
I'm very good at
conversation
this.
got
I'm
me like
obviously very good at like turning people on. I'm very good at doing the opposite, like
but
making a
yeah, throbbing because you can a quivering. I'm quivering, wet and quivering for you or tingly. But then
Mhm,
sometimes I
mhm.
feel like one time I was going to do the sex and I was going to say this word. It was like more in the beginning of like our sex, like in the beginning, I'm more careful about the wording I use. And I was going to say tingly. I'm like, does that sound like I have some kind of STD?
Yeah, yeah, that's where that leads my mind. Like there is like we're talking dirty talk right now, and
Yeah,
there's a fine line where it's like, do not get too medical and do not say things that could be misconstrued for STDs
exactly.
because
Because it
these
does
are
get a
things we
little
don't want to
weird.
think
That
about.
gets a little weird. Yeah. All right. Men do like to say, I'm not going to talk for all men, but I'm going to generalize it. A lot of men like to mention like their size as in reference to like having to like, it's tight going in and having to stretch you and like that kind of verbiage
Oh yeah, I've seen that in the movies, in the
yeah,
porns.
in the porns.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, like it does take some getting used to. And look, and if you're not comfortable, I've said this before, don't, you can do it in a way that's, you don't have to use dirty words. There's ways to do it without like, can't wait till you're hovering over me or like, I can't wait to feel the weight of you on the weight of your body on me. Or there's so many ways you can go because you can
I
tell.
think if you're just dipping your toes in to dirty talk, just say, "This feels so good."
Mhm. You feel so good. And if you're just dipping your toes into dirty talk and you want to dip further and you're not quite sure how to do it, hit me up. I can help.
Oh yeah, you do
Yeah.
privates.
I'll do private sexting classes. The problem, and then like after it, like Because I sit and think about like sex sometimes too. And I like when I'm thinking about the person I'm writing it to, and I'm like, no, I don't like that one. But I start getting those thoughts going, and I'm like, damn, I've turned myself on.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah, it is pretty cool.
Um, I don't know why we were talking about that, but
I don't either. Also, I get a lot of people, especially on through this podcast app, that were like, because we talk about sexting, who will be like, "Hey, let's trade sex for sexting." I'm like, dude, I don't know you. I have to like, I'm not gonna sext just anybody. Like they just message
mhm.
you, like, you want to sext? No, I don't know who the fuck you are. And then I had one guy who I went on like two dates, one date with, one date. He pops back up once in a while, and I just thought he's being nice, and then he starts like, what are you wearing? Tell me about this. I'm like, dude, I don't know you like that.
Yeah. No, I think I picture this class being like at a rented out hotel room, conference room, and you even have like some printed out materials or a PowerPoint that goes along with it. So don't just unsolicited sext with Rachel.
No,
It's not cool. You
no,
need to
don't. I'm tired.
also
Yeah,
you need to pay that application fee.
I know. But yeah, and also like in a hotel room, so everybody like we have like if you're sexting someone like you're long distance, everybody has like a little toys to go kit when they go back to their hotel room for the night.
Hmm.
Because you can really turn yourself on. Because if you're thinking about like if I just said to you, like, oh, you feel so good in me. I want your big, thick, throbbing. I want to feel your big, thick cock throbbing deep in me. If I'm not thinking about a specific person, it does nothing for me. But if I start thinking about like a specific person, it's immediately like, okay, I'm, I might just have to get off this podcast real quick and touch myself. Um,
Right. So yeah, you put
yeah,
some thoughts along with the
yeah.
words and it works for you.
Yeah, and you can't text and really like be careful sexting things you don't want to do. I've done that. I've definitely done that. Been like said something dirty that it's like I would never do that in person. You know what I mean? Like I had know my boundaries and I went past them in sexting and it can backfire big because then they're expecting that, you know?
I also like to think of it, I just had this idea, but maybe we should view dirty talk more as and I think I have done this in the past, view it more as a thing for the other person to do that is like just what they want to do.
Hmm.
Because I've had like a lot of long-term partners, and I think with one of them it was like, um, oh my God, like you're harder than you've ever been. Um, and I'm thinking that's not true.
But did it feel good hearing that for a second?
Not really. I was just like thinking like,
Oh,
well,
you
what
got
I'm
too
like, I'm
intellectual.
glad. It's like I'm glad. I'm happy for you. Like
You
that's basically
intellectualized it
right.
too fast.
What's
You
that?
you intellectualized it too fast. They were just trying to make you feel good, and you're like, "Well, actually, I was harder last week." Um,
Well, yeah, I'm kind of a nerd like that, but
yeah,
I'm
no,
thinking they were not saying it for my benefit, or were they? I'm not
but
sure.
I think it's both benefit. It could have been for both people. They were trying to make you feel good, and they were also like thinking about a big hard cock, and we're like,
Oh no, I did not. I did not say anything that would be contrary to that. I was like, all right, yeah, let's go. Like that's what happened in the moment.
yeah.
But like I do feel like sometimes dirty talk is more for yourself than it is for your partner.
But here's I do it. I think it depends on the person because I get turned on personally giving someone else pleasure. Like that's one of my turn ons, right? So when I'm
Yes,
seeing someone,
I like
I'm
that too.
thinking about them enjoying it also.
Uh-huh.
It is also for me though, yeah, because I kind of, but I like
Well, you had just said like if I'm thinking about the actual cock that I'm talking about, then it is like a mixture of horny medicine for you.
yeah, if I'm thinking about that person because I'm also thinking about them enjoying it, like reading
Right.
it, like starting to get
Oh, I
hard just
see.
reading what I
Yeah,
wrote, like,
yeah.
and they might have to like
Well, that
go,
is also text specific. That is not like a in-person thing, right?
no, no, I mean it's in person thing. I get off on pleasing somebody else and like watching them like. their pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. Now I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But also like when I think about if I send a dirty video, like I'm doing it, I'm like, meh. I'm like, this is a fake video. I'm not really like getting off right now. I mean, I am, but like I'm making this specifically for you. But because I'm getting more excited because I'm thinking about you watching it and like you getting off, and
Hmm.
I'm imagining the other person getting off.
I had one partner that I was with that I really liked, or I don't know how Dirty Talk developed, but that relationship wasn't like super long term. But we started seeing other people, and then when you kind of switch from one partner to another and then try to keep the same dirty talk,
Yeah.
that does not work.
No,
Like
you have to
you
learn.
have to reset your dirty talk meter.
Yep.
Like you have to have a little stopwatch thing and like click it
Yep.
back to zero and build your dirty talk up from nothing.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, you sound like a fucking psycho.
You do. And there has to be like you have to understand your partner's cadence and kind of go with it. Yeah, but if you come in with like the dirtiest thing, it's like, dude,
It's
you
like you've been practicing this. Like,
have
did
you
you
been like,
rehearse that
I know.
line? Like,
Did you
where's
copy
that
and paste
written?
that from your last relationship? No, that was copied and pasted from an article I read. I have definitely copied and pasted like a good little sex that I was like, yep. And then maybe I change a word or two. But so that if they put it in something, if they put it in AI, it won't come back as plagiarism. But I'm just kidding.
Right, because that's what all the
Right.
nerds like myself are
Yeah,
doing.
I put my sex right through a
Hold
plagiarism.
on, I think I've heard that before.
But if you need some,
I don't want wish to characterize myself that way. So
but
I
if
reject that.
it's all right. If you need some like good sites for sexting, also we can set up a call. But
Mm,
don't just text me, dudes, or anybody, because you're not going to get a response. And don't just send me like, I thought about you sexting and sent you this, and it's like someone hard. No, thank you. I won't open it. I mean, I might open it just because I'm fucking weird and curious in that way, but you're not going to get a
hmm
response. I have opened definitely like a video on Instagram or a picture, so it's like, it covers it for like from someone I don't know because I'm like, what'd they send me? And then I'm like, ew, gross. Or I'm like, bleh. But I'm curiosity gets the best of me. Um, yeah. So I might have to just go and I have a little break today, so I might just have some little fantasy in my head going on, put on some good music and send some
Well,
video.
didn't mean to get you started. I thought did you had stuff that you wanted to talk about? I don't know why I got
No, we're
on this
good.
tangent.
I think this is a good place to leave it for people a little excited. Um,
Mm.
anything you want to add before we
No, I'm still working on the Athens Public app. It's not
Okay.
available in the iTunes store, but I'll probably fix it up and give me like a year. No, I'm just kidding. I'll
Okay.
keep you updated. Subscribe and
Okay.
like this podcast, and you'll keep up to
Yes.
date with that.
Subscribe and like it and wow. Subscribe to our YouTube, My So-Called Mess on Instagram. You could also set up an appointment with me there if you're interested in learning more about how to sex or about relationships in general. Send us your questions. Until next time, peace the F out. Peace the fuck out. What I F out. And go enjoy yourself today. Do one thing that gives you pleasure. And maybe pleasure someone else too. That could be fun. Bye. All right.
I was
Now,
thinking about doing this thing because I'm planning to have more podcasts on this network, and I was thinking that we should eventually record you um, and me maybe just talking about this podcast. Like, have you
okay.
heard those before? Where it's like, hey,
Yeah.
this is my so-called. Hey, if you
Yep.
like talking about sex, then this
Yep.
is my so-called mess.
Let's do it.
Something like that someday. Maybe let's write something down and
Okay.
just read it. Okay.
Um, yes, I would love to do that. Episode 212. The only thing that I could remember, like to think of was like, so it's not too dirty, was I turned myself on.
I turned myself on. I like that. I said something that was hard to say, but I don't even remember what it was. It was like I had to say it really slowly.
Yeah, you did. I don't remember either. I need to like start having like a little scrap of paper when we say good things. All right. So let me save this. And I said it was episode 212. I should have just copied and pasted that, you dum dum. Sorry if you don't like people calling themselves dum dum to anyone who might be watching. Um, My go-to was always Dum Dum Head, or there being a Dum Dum Head or something. And I've been saying that a lot lately for some reason, like I'm 12 or 2.
You've been saying Dum Dum Head. I was
Uh-huh.
going to mention this at some point, but the kids like new slang is like in the school, everyone's calling each other big back, and I think it's just like coded fat slander, you know? Like they're not allowed to call
Oh,
people fat, so they're calling each other big backs. That's how I'm reading it, and that's how a lot of adults are reading it. But the kids kind of defend it as this it's like a catch-all for tall people or
oh,
literal big, large backs, or I'm not really sure what's going on, but I kind of am just like,
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, that's interesting. But we all fight. Yeah, some of those words, like I realize I have not kept up with these new slang with the new slang. All right, my friend, and everybody else who's watching, have a wonderful day. I will be seeing you next week. Yeah, so anytime I just have an 11
oh,
on
okay,
days, 11 to 12 your time, and then again at I think 3. So either before that time or after, just let me know. Well,
okay, yeah, we'll do. I'll text you earlier
okay,
next Thursday to see what your schedule is like.
excellent.
Um,
I'm glad you texted because in my head I knew it was Thursday, but I didn't function that it was Thursday. If that makes sense.
right, I was going to say something else.
Sorry.
Oh, when you go to upload it, I changed some of the sizes of things and I changed some of the code for it. So let me know if you have any problems.
Okay. Nothing so far.